Thank you. That was Jeffy Handyworth. He is our Normal World correspondent in England.
Yeah.
So.
What do you guys think?
About
rape?
Bad.
Bad. In general?
Every time. Yeah, it's bad.
Very bad.
What if it's
time?
like possibly made up?
What'd you say?
Possibly made up.
I think I'm gonna have to side with the people accusing so I could get some subscribers and stuff.
Is that what they do these days?
Some background, get some
engagement on X.
Footage. I mean, I think it's a slippery slope.
I think you're just using that.
No, it is. What, slope?
You don't know what that means.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like, because if you don't know really who you can believe these days.
Yeah.
Unless it's concrete in front of you. But everybody just goes with the one side. So I don't know.
We put a rape
really
apologist lower third by her.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to tell.
Really kidding.
I know.
I think you're absolutely. I think that's absolutely understandable.
Yeah.
I think it's such an odd thing because any way you can discuss it, I think, and be honest, you're gonna sound a bit flip-floppy because. Yeah, of course. It sounds like you got to read it like it's a bit of a report, but we should, honestly, just having a conversation. Brand denied, obviously, all the claims of the misconduct, but let's talk about it from what I know. Russell Brand, in the beginning, is a sex addict.
Yep.
He's been open about that.
My book is about it. He's been extremely honest about his recovery. Yeah. So I'm going to put it like this. Like, let's say he is a sex addict. He is a sex addict. What if some of this did happen? What if there's a redeemable quality to this in the sense of, can somebody be redeemed for it? Can somebody change their life and start doing the more positive thing? Because
absolutely.
Yeah, like I'm not saying this obviously wasn't like a ski mask, knife to throat. I'm not saying that that's something that is different. Because you can't say anything now without 800 egg emojis that can hide behind something and tell you that they can have their opinion.
Yep.
That's perfectly fine, but you can't actually have one. And I wonder, when it comes to something like that, like, I don't want to just defend somebody because they've said something that's on our side or on our team. But the thing about Russell Brand is he is a guy who in the last few years has actually attempted to bring unity.
Yep.
And the thing about him to me, and I wrote this down specifically, is it reminded me of something that Patrice O'Neill once said, which was about Malcolm X, which was they were happy to let him live when he was talking about killing white men. And it was also like when Richard Nixon said, the same people that got Kennedy got him, but a bullet would have been too obvious.
Yep.
So when you start seeing people that talk about unity or start bringing people together or people start reaching across the sides and stuff like this begins to happen, especially when it's done so many years later, there is a reason to go, well, is this real? Is this something that we can depend on fully? Because now we have this whole victimhood culture where we go, okay, victim is such a strange word because if you are a victim, somehow that's bad. Like, you're like, oh, you're playing a victim. Well, maybe you are a victim. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you're victim shaming, you're victim blaming, you're being the victim. Like, we've weaponized that word in such a horrible negative way in our society where we have catchphrases to basically disarm anybody who comes forward about anything or is defending themselves.
Yeah.
Well, and you said it earlier, as a person from the outside, I'm a fan of Russell Brand. I started recently watching a lot of his interviews, and he's a really great orator, and he makes a lot of great videos, but that doesn't mean I know who he is or know what he's capable of. So then I don't want to just knee-jerk defend him. But then on the other hand, we've seen a lot of situations where women will retroactively remove consent in a situation where they possibly they liked this guy, they were actually going after him, they were trying to get some kind of fame out of it. We've seen those things happen, so it's hard when I don't see any actual evidence. And that's something you need these days. I think you've always needed it, but we've seemed to have just kind of thrown that away. You need evidence to ruin, like if you're going to ruin somebody's life.
Well, speaking of,
it's something more than text messages.
One of them did do a rape kit on the same day, and there is medical proof of that. So, I mean, that's something. And she has text from him right after the incident, after she had the rape kit, that he was apologizing for it and things like that. So, I mean, in a situation like that where we constantly are like, we always say, like, well, why didn't this happen? Why didn't they do this? And it's like, even when that happens, you know, it kind of gets
Thrown
pushed
away
under a little bit. Yeah.
But that's the part too where I look at something like that, do you know if something's doctored? Is it real? And if that is a real rape kit, why weren't charges brought? How many people knew about this? And that's why I wanted to bring up this Comedy Central roast thing, because it was an English Comedy Central thing where 3 sources said Russell said, if you guys have that overlay, I'm not sure. Yeah, there it is.
Channel 4.
Yeah, but 3 sources said roast battle judge Catherine Ryan turned the heat on Brand a number of times during filming. Her allegations did not make the final edit. Brand finally vanished from UK television screens after 2018, except for his appearance on The Great Celebrity Bake Off. I'll come back to bake. No rape jokes when I make
Crumpets.
cake.
It's okay for comments.
But he was on Celebrity Roast Battle, but it only lasted a single season, and he had assaulted several women. What I find so odd too about roast battles, and I just want to say that too, is we were talking about it earlier, where you dig up this dirt on other comics. And I always looked at these shows as something that was almost like, it looked like a psyop for comedians, where it was like comics who did like this late night hang, which was something I never had a lot of interest in, mainly because I just stopped. I was sober.
Yeah.
But it just seemed to dig up a lot of things and sort of blackmail each other and say things on camera that I don't know if should necessarily have been public knowledge. And it seems like this was that case where you're just throwing these things out there that, so obviously there was knowledge of it then, right? Because if this happened on a Comedy Central roast battle and somebody brought it up, there was knowledge that he had some sort of past involving rape or sexual misdeeds, which...
Rumors or something, or someone talking about it.
How we don't know the relationship between these people. Did they have a conversation? Like, there was text messages. Did he actually apologize? Was there like a meeting after that? Did they continue to hang out? There's this inner relationship stuff is so complicated. It's like now it's all in the public eye, and you have to have a take on it.
Yep.
It's like I don't want to make a take because I don't know what is true and what's not.
Exactly.
I think
It's a weird timing though. That's the thing.
Very.
why not go to the police? That's like my biggest thing. When people go to the media instead of police, I don't want to hear it.
Go to the media like 15 or however many years after.
Even if it's before, if it's right after, if you go to the media and not the police, if at any point you go to the media instead of the police, I don't want nothing to do with
I'm
you.
at least speculating.
I'm going innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
It has to be
you should do
evidence
that all
of
the time,
something. There's no reason not to go to police.
What were you gonna say, Angela?
I was just gonna say, I think it's like hard to like put yourself in that situation where it's like, I don't know, like honestly what I would do. Like there's plenty of people that I know that it's happened to that just wanted to bury it and didn't take it to police, and it's like it doesn't mean that it didn't like affect,
It doesn't, but it does mean that you can't expect people to believe it.
I get
don't
that.
Go through the motions of doing it. Like
I get that, but I think sometimes it's hard.
Or was it a brutal rape?
Yeah.
I've never met anybody who's been brutally raped that didn't go to the police immediately.
I think, I don't know if there's like necessarily like levels to.
I think there.
There are.
Well, I mean, if it was just like a small rape, does that make it better?
Go to police.
You know what I mean?
Because women also, like, we know multiple women that lie and go to the police about it. Like, I probably, like, on my 2 hands we can count, like, you know what I mean? So it's definitely, like, you don't know.
But I heard that this isn't even, there's no charges being brought. It's not like a criminal case. So it's literally just
word of mouth.
4 women said something happened, and now Russell Brand lost all of his money from his YouTube channel because of behavior off platform.
Great, that
isn't even proven.
I didn't know that was a thing.
They're stopping his tour because of this.
His book. He has a new
book.
Yep.
So you can just say something happened. You don't have to prove it. You can just say, I have this rape kit. Like, where is it? I'm sorry, but I have to know that before I can be on your side.
Yeah.
It's a weird time to have
16 and pregnant again.
That was the one. So when I read the reports on it, I was like, so the rape kit was a shocking one, but I haven't seen it.
I mean,
I don't know if I believe that.
Right. I don't know
the
levels.
16-year-old is like weird. It's legal in the UK, but it's gross.
Yeah.
It is?
Gross. But he has been open about that. He's been open
It's
about
in
how
Michigan
he is.
too. Trust me.
Really? Is it?
Anyway, what? No, I guess I don't know the levels of rape. What I mean by that is just more violence, in the
I guess
sense
so, yeah.
because there's also women that like violence, is what I mean, in the bedroom. So sometimes I've known that can be.
And I'm so glad
I don't know what it is to be humiliated sexually. But,
Right.
you know, that's not caused by myself. But it's like, but to honestly feel that, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be
Humiliated in that way.
Yeah. So I don't know what the thought is. I don't know the thought process of it.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And I understand where you guys are coming from too, but it's just like, you know, humans are complicated, and sometimes it's just like, you
Absolutely.
know,
But you
there's
can't
no
expect
blanket
justice.
statement for, I get where you're coming from. I'm just devil's advocate over here.
Well, I think it is important to say that Alice, who claimed she was 16 at the time, and was in a relationship with Brand, who was 31 at the time. That is.
Yeah, that's gross.
Alice said she dated Brand for 3 months, during which she alleges that he groomed her and told her how to frame the relationship to her parents. In one sexual encounter, at the end of their relationship, Allison Brand sexually assaulted her and shoved his. All right, this is everybody. He put him, in her mouth. I don't want to go into this. I didn't realize it was going to be this. Anyway, he did text her saying, I'm sorry. That was crazy and selfish. I hope you forgive me. I know that you're a lovely person. Signed at X. 3:29 a.m. This was this Nadia person who had a rape kit done. You don't need to get tested. I will make this up to you somehow. I think if somebody's a sex addict, by the way, get tested. Chance that you have HPV at that moment, which also condoms don't protect against, and if you don't have a vaccine, is probably close to 100% at that point.
Yep.
Always get tested if you have sex, probably with anybody you don't know.
Yeah.
But especially in that case, if somebody has been with multiple partners, I would recommend it. Highly.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. But yeah, so there was, Angela's absolutely right. There were these texts.
What did the rape kid say? Does it say if it came back as anything?
Well, she went to the rape crisis center the same day. Which, I mean, look, that's the same as the police. The in my opinion, that's doing the same thing. The Time of London report. So yes, basically you have somebody who's famous, possibly being protected by all these people.
I've seen that.
And then a girl saying, this man raped me, who was famous. And then for some reason he was being covered up by somebody who at that point wasn't reaching across the aisle, wasn't doing these things on YouTube, wasn't outside of the culture of the mainstream. So you're looking at somebody.
You've seen the BBC cover up other.
Jimmy Savile is the biggest cover up in the history, in my opinion, of sexual.
I mean, I was just